Good morning. It's Sunday. It's 11:52 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The date is May 4, 2014. I have a daily chart that I'm going to show on the Nasdaq Composite. In 2009, this is where we had the big rally that started right up here, and we went extremely higher. But one of the things I'm going to point out quickly on this particular chart is the following. I'm going to draw that trend line so that you can see it on this daily chart. And you can clearly see where these markets had put in the low of 2009. And then we had a flash crash in May 6, 2010. We had a flash crash in the volatility, but nonetheless, we had made that super high up here, and we went down to these lows over here. One of the things that I would say that you would need to do is the 2009 expansion 5-year has completed its process. We are now exactly 1 month in a new expansionary period. Now, having said that, StockMarketFunding.com has all of the analysis and everything that we do for international traders, U.S. traders, option traders, equity traders, currency traders. We do it all. Commodity traders, it doesn't matter. What I would encourage you to do is click on the free trial tab, open the account page. Now, this page will be changing because we will have prop traders that need capital to run their prop trading business. So we're going to be doing this up a little bit later. The $2,500 deal, that's for an option account. That's not for a business account that we will give you money. You have a $10,000 account, we're going to give you $150,000 intraday. Go through the page, read it, get all of your analysis right here. We will be updating this page this coming week so that we can address all the prop traders that used to work at banks, and a lot of them worked at the bigger firms, and they need a good firm to come to now to run their business, and that will be right here at StockMarketFunding.com. Just remember, we do all of the live analysis. You get to spend 5 days. Today is Sunday. We're telling you what's going to happen before it happens. We're overbought and we're going to go down. And here, I'm just going to show these peaks and these valleys, and then I'm going to clear it. But this is what it's looked like. And every pullback that we got in here, we made higher highs. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the following. I am going to the trend tool, and I'm going to give you a complete update as why we are going to have close to a 10% correction. Very quickly, we're going to show the bottoms here, MMTs. That was done on 8/25 of year 2010. We had this bottom, and we went straight up parabolically on the composite when it was at the low of 2100. That was a Nasdaq composite, 2100. We make the highs up here on 9/30 of 2010, and we were at the high of 2400 on the Nasdaq composite. We had major resistance levels, but we rallied up to various different periods of time, and that there was on the date, believe it or not, was 1/18 of 2010. And we went straight up and we made the all-time highs right here. I'm going to show you. The high was 25.92, and we had a nice correction. That correction came in on 11/6. The low at that point was right around 24.67, and from that period on, the daily, we have gone parabolically up. In 2013 or 2010, I'm just showing you where the highs were 26.45. Since that bull run started in 2009 and the 60-month expansionary model has come into play, 2014, we also made all-time highs. But let's just take a look at the calendar. 2013, the Nasdaq composite went straight up parabolically as far as I'm concerned. Now, we did have a correction. I'm going to show you where it was. It started right here. It started out, also, we made the lows over here. That's a 100-day simple moving average. We came down off of these highs that I am going to show you right now. And one of the things that best describes this move is the 200-day simple moving average finally got tested on a daily. We were in a daily sell signal as well. Now, this is where we're at. This is a correction that started right here, and that date was on 3/7. It was March. We put the bottom in here, though, on 4/15, and we rally up, and we rally back down. Now, that 200-day simple was tested, and that is what the Nasdaq composite looks like. The high flyers that we told everyone about, those high flyers in 2013 have all come down. Some of those stocks have dropped 100 points. Let's go on to the weekly. Now, on this weekly chart, back in 2010, once again, on a weekly, we put the bottoms in, and there were times that we had corrections, as every market should. And then we rally up and we make highs. Then we pull back and we slightly make other highs. This is where when we started calendar 2013, we went parabolically up, had little corrections here and there. Now, in 2014, we have put in all-time highs on the weekly. One of the things that I will point out that you must be aware of, MMTs, is the following. We are just going to take this portion of the calendar year, and you're going to see where we pulled back. And I'm going to make it very clear with the trend tool right here, this is where that support level was, and we rallied straight up. One thing about the composite, that it was very strong. And you know, we made these highs up here, and that date was 3/2. March, we had from 2009 March to 2014 March, this is when the 60-month expansion was completed. And we went straight down in a pullback like we should. And that 10-week is going to cross over that 20-week. That means that we got major resistance levels that will go up here as they have on the weekly level. The blue line is a 10-week, and the red line right here is a 20-week. Now, that's a death cross below it. One thing I can say, and I want to make this clear, back here, we had a 5-year bull run, finally off the 2009 lows in March. We get to March up here, and guess what happens? Guess what happens? We end that 60-month expansion on 3/2. That's when the rally and the bull rally started. Then from the Nasdaq composite of a high of 43.71, went straight down here, made that low now of 39.46 on this low. We have gone back up to this high on 420, and the high is 41.77. That 10-week, the blue line's about ready to cross over. Now, bull run has corrections. We're in the earnings season. The stocks like Netflix, Google, Amazon, I can go on and on, Netflix, and lots of the Nasdaq composite stocks had made super 52-week highs that are extremely overbought. The earnings season up to date right now on 5/4/2014 has been not a catastrophe. It's been okay, but the Nasdaq composite has major resistance. Now, having said that, I'm going to bring over the Nasdaq composite, and I'm going to take this on a monthly format. And you can clearly see here, from the time that we made the bull run, you have to know one thing. This was a high in year 2000. We were there. The dot bomb had a pullback, and it washed everyone out of the market. And then in 2003, under the Bush administration and the Iraq, is that we had an expansion that went from 10/1 of 2007. It started down here on 5/1 of 2004, and we put the bottoms in. Actually, it was in when we put the real bottom in, it was really that test on 3/1 of 2003 under the Bush administration, the Iraq war. 2007 high and the catastrophe. This was one of the biggest dot-com bubbles and corrections that we have seen. We have come all the way back up, my friends, to the crown of that 2000 dot-com bust in this 5-year expansion. Another thing that I am going to show is how overbought we are on the moving average convergence divergence. I'm also going to point out where the lows started in 2009. We called that bottom. We said it would be a tsunami rally, but my friends, what this thing has done is the following. I'm going to show you what's very important about bull runs and when new bull markets start. You have to be aware of where that bottom was and how these rallies have taken place. Another thing, we dipped down in 2012, and I'm just going to show this portion of it for right now on the monthly chart. Now look, very carefully. 2011 was a bottom, and we rallied up in 2012, and we went sideways for many months in here. Look, many months we went sideways right here. And I'll draw the resistance lines on this monthly chart. Now, whether you're a prop trader, casual investor, or day trader, or whoever you are, I would get involved with stock market funding while you can. This was that long monthly 2012 broader consolidation period that resulted in one of the best calendar moves that we have seen. And I'm going to show what that breakout in 13 was, because we called this is where that monthly level had a couple little pullbacks, and we just went parabolically up. And stocks like Google and Netflix and Amazon, some of those stocks have dropped $100, just like they did back in the dot bomb. And this blue line is a 10-month moving average. And on this monthly level, we are consolidating the 13 breakout. That was the real bull breakout last year. So we have put a top in on a monthly level and whatnot. We have a rising 10-month. You can see right here where this big wick is where those buyers stepped in at 39.50 on the Nasdaq Composite and rallied straight right back up. The bull case is that every one of these pullbacks that you see in that monthly wick were big buys. This one was slightly lower than that one. However, this is what we did in April. And let it be known that when I show you right here, this whole format is the following. MMT is that we are overbought, extremely overbought. Money is on the sideline, but we are just so overbought, it's hard for people to come in this bull run. We would encourage you, though, that when we do have that 10% correction that we're calling for throughout this summer period, it's going to be anywhere from 7 to 10%. However, that money that's on the sideline would love that correction where they can come in and start buying stocks lower than what their 52-week highs were or this pullback was. So, once again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 months right here at 14. The thing about it is we did put a lower low in on the monthly level right here. And I'm going to show you what date that was. It's very simple. That date was right here, and that monthly date was the month of April. And 41.98, we went up to 42.86, and the MMTs, we dropped right back down to 39.46, and then we came rallying right back up. Nasdaq 100 stocks, the high beta, the high flyers, are extremely overbought. They've had massive corrections already, and we want you to be aware that MMTs, you want to buy the dips. And coming down here on the monthly level to touch that, break below the 10-month, that would get some selling going. This 20-month moving average is at exactly, I'm going to give you the number right now, 36.87. Every bull market has to shake out the buyer. And we are 5 years into this economic expansion. And you can say, and we say, that we got a new bull for 5 years because it started out at the March 2009 lows. This bull has 5 years behind it. I remember back when the last bull run started, that was an 18-year bull run that we had put in back in the early 1900 period. And every correction was a great bull run. I'm just going to caution you once again, though. We're at all-time highs. We're going to pull back. We're in a monthly consolidation range, and I'm going to show it right here, right now. And I'm going to draw that trend tool. We have never missed a high or a low. But what we are saying is that the upside is limited right now, and that we're going to have less volume moving forward. And we do have that big correction coming. We've already called this correction. We already did this one right here. Now we're going to see how month of May starts, and we're going to look to see if we get lower highs. Any move up in equities to the higher highs are to be either taking your profits and or shorting that market. And one thing again, I'm also going to throw in here the chart that you should be really aware of is going to be this one right here, is the S&P 500 that I've already covered it. So here, let's go to the S&P 100 and let's see if we can get it. We're not getting a data stream at the moment. I apologize. I'm going to conclude the Nasdaq composite that on this weekly chart, I'm going to draw you one more trend line, MMT, and check this one out. You're going to really focus. And the part you're going to focus on is this right here. That was that low, but that's your high. But here, let's just do this. Let's take this peak of that low to that high and to this low, and we were right down there at the bottoms, and we went shooting right up. The minute that we hit the 10-week and the 20-week, we sold off every time. And when we cross over, we're going to refer that as a major problem for the bull. But remember, that money is on the sideline. And working with daily, weekly, monthly, and 60-minute moving averages is a key here. It tells you the support. It tells you that we're unloading stocks. And here we are right now. And the thing about it is that major support level is going to be right here on the Nasdaq. It's going to be 40.50. That is it. We dipped below it, they came in. We dipped below it, and what'd they do? We had a nice little round of buyers that came in off of that low, hit that high right there, and that was the end of the party, and there we are right here on a weekly level. That was a major high right there, okay? And when you take a look at where this high was, and we come shooting straight down here, connecting these tops, I'll stretch it out. Every time we sold off. Every time we sold off. Every time we sold off. Every time we had a pullback. This is a 1 month weekly consolidation, which is either set up to go higher, but we will say with the weekly moving averages that we are overbought on the monthly chart. And it's very, very important that one of the things that we do here is that we get where these corrections have already started. That big money is on the sideline. Another thing, MMTs and the new people, we really do encourage you to come here. And you can see the live videos. We upload them here and whatnot. I've already showed you stockmarketfunding.com. That's this area, stock market funding. We do all the live analysis. You could spend 5 days with us in the live trading room, watching our trades, where those entries and exits, where the stop management is done. We do have management services for hedge fund managers, investors, day traders, and market makers on every level of the exchanges. We are here to be a management tool because we've been around 32 years. We understand all of the economic cycles. We understand it all. We understand one thing, that they've been selling into this thing. Here's that weekly consolidation. We will see you later at another date. And I can tell you right now, the market is not on sale, and the market needs that 10% correction that I am calling for. Technology is being shorted big time right now. You got some new bear funds that are ramping up. You got all kinds of things. There's an extreme bull and bear fight. Just remember one thing. Come here. We will help you with our management team as far as where you should be shorting and going long so that you compare your risk.